I'm going to talk about the learner journey. I'm going to talk about the long learner journey. You're quite familiar with the learner journey. It's a phrase that we've used quite a lot. Mark is going to talk about it in quite a lot of detail. The learner journey traditionally is the journey through the ILP. It's the initial assessment, their feedback, reviews, the outcomes that they get, and then they leave. It's a nice, compact, one term, 1 year sort of course. That doesn't really cut it anymore. What we need to be looking at now is a longer learner journey. The long learner journey, seen as our course as part of something bigger, as a stepping stone. And I know a lot of you are familiar with this because you've got people who come to do GCSEs so that they can go on to do teaching qualifications, for instance. We've got somebody who might be a little bit creative, does a pottery course, then does the studio classes, and then might go into self-employment. So we're already part of that long learner journey. It's just that we haven't thought about it particularly, and it's not something that we've tried to gather data on. It's not something that we've tried to promote in the past. So our contribution is helping the learner to progress and flourish. We're going to have a mandatory flourish on every slide where the word is mentioned. All right? And that's the current one for this. Our contribution is helping people through that stepping stone so that they can progress on. The thing is, we lose them after that. We don't know necessarily what the next stage is. So we've started to introduce tracking progression and destinations. We give out these postcards, the learner fills it in with a name and address, we then send it to them and we follow that up with a phone call. So the postcard is sort of a reminder that we'll be getting in touch. Then we give them a call, find out what they're doing 6 months after the end of the course, and that gives us a better idea of the impact of our learning. But there are changes coming, as Gerald has mentioned already. From 17-18, community learning funding and ASB, the ASB element of it, will be controlled by the London Enterprise Panel, and it will be based on community need, not on individual need. Up until now, it's always been, what does the learner want to do? What does the learner want to achieve? And it's seen in that short context. So, what is community need? Community need does include what people want to do. It is about their personal progression. But more specifically, it's about local labour market information. That's it. I think that's the only acronym I've gone with on this one. I didn't want to write out local labour market information, which is learning and skills for employment. Social inclusion, just the idea of getting people together, older people in the community, people with disabilities, and just everybody who turns up to our courses really does it from they want to be in a class with other people. Our support for the third sector, a lot of the time we're doing that already. We're doing first aid courses, food hygiene courses, that sort of thing. Support for families at risk with our family learning and wider family learning. Needs to be... Sorry, third sector is voluntary sector, charity work, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Public health, there's a big synergy between what we do and supporting the public health agenda in terms of mental health, in terms of activity, all the yoga classes, etc., that sort of thing. And demographic changes. We might have an ageing population, we might have a baby boom, we might have a new influx of immigrants from a different area that we're not used to working with, those sorts of things. So what we've got to show is that our courses address these needs. And if we can do that, then the mayor, whoever it is at the time, will hopefully say, there's the money to do it. So as a service, we need to demonstrate our impact. We already do that by providing lots of data about qualifications, etc. But the government is now measuring destination, progression and earnings. They're actually tracking people's earnings through their NI number to see if the training that they provide has an economic benefit to the people who attend our courses. how good that's going to be. It's a complex bit of work, but in theory, it could be quite useful. It would be great if we found out all of our learners earned twice as much after they've been on a course with us as before. I'm not that optimistic about it. And we need to understand and promote how our courses meet community need. Your curriculum leaders recently completed a rather lengthy spreadsheet which looked at the vision and purpose of every single one of our courses in terms of those community needs and how it meets needs, how it develops people. So that's the start for us of a process of really looking at the value of our courses and how we're going to sell those to the London Enterprise panel. Now that's the bit you came for. What do you need to do as tutors? Be more holistic with our ILPs. That's a good summary. A lot of things that you probably talk about already. But why does a student want to do the course? Are they on the right path? Can we help them achieve their goals? And can we get the learners to tell us more about their impact after the course? That's nearly spot on. That's nearly spot on. 2 more sentences and I would have been there. So this last one is one of the things that's exercising my mind at the moment about how we're going to follow up learners to find out what the longer term benefits of being with us are. And we're the new ILPs, which you recognise the tree of knowledge or whatever it is. Is it tree of knowledge?
Flourishing.
It's a flourishing tree, yeah. Okay. It looks like it's flourished and fruited and already. So the idea of that is so that we've got a more holistic idea of the benefit of our courses.